again, you're just saying like a normal person. I actually think that Nick and I's experience with this movie is probably more typical. Welcome to the KendallCast Movie Roundtable. I'm your host, Kendall. With me, as always, is Nick.
Hello.
And Ian.
What's happening?
Did I do that backwards?
Yeah. No,
I'm always last.
What is happening?
This is weird. I
think the videos are in a different order because also like I'm in the middle and I'm usually on the left. I think. I don't know. I threw it out. Yeah, because it's always been Ian ever since Kitchen Finks.
Right.
With me as always is Ian.
Yeah.
And then whoever the other person, Will or Nick or Jeff or whatever.
Yeah, it's always been Jeff and then Nick. So having me be first is just wrong.
Well, speaking of just being wrong, I was wrong about Pulp Fiction. It's that's the movie we're talking about, and it finally clicked for me. I think it's good. I do think, I think it's unhelpful to say things are overrated. But just for the record, I don't like this is a 4 out of 5 movie. It's not a 5 out of 5 movie for me. I do think it's a little bit messy and I can totally see how it wouldn't have hit for me in the past, but it is still good. Like it worked for me this time. Like I want to emphasize I enjoyed it and I'm going to try to stay pretty positive because I did because it was a good viewing experience.
So when you picked it because you thought you didn't like it or you didn't like it in the past, but think that it's an objectively good movie. So like, why did you think you didn't like it?
Okay. So there's 2 major factors. One is there's a few major factors. One, every time I watched it in the past, I was very tired, and it is a 2.5 hour long movie that is pretty meandering, and I definitely fell asleep at least at some point during the movie during all of my watches. I think that Bruce Willis segment, most of that I had never seen. I definitely had not seen the segment with the GIMP and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. So there were chunks that I had not seen, which when you watch this movie is like jumps all over the place anyway. So missing like huge segments of it doesn't do it any favors. And then also there was the fact that a lot of people quoted it, especially quoted the Sam Jackson and other guy, John Travolta segments like a lot. Lots of like very like sort of bro-y people in my youth maybe took the wrong lessons from this movie. And I do think that that's the fault of the movie, at least partially. It's just like, I think in past viewings, it just sort of like, I couldn't really follow, like, I didn't feel like there was a through line to it. I also like, gut reaction, didn't love it at first. And so then I, maybe some of my contrarian instincts or whatever. But then this time watching it, I'm like, oh, it's just Clerks. And
sure. And
as soon as I realized it was Clerks, like that these are, because I like Clerks because these are, sort of sad, petty people. They're not meant to be aspirational. They're kind of meant to be, assholes or whatever. And also like there's an element, with Tarantino, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood has this scene where there's a young actress, like a 13-year-old actress or something. And she gives this long monologue about her, philosophy of method acting and staying in character and not talking to people on set or something. I don't even remember what it was, but I just remember listening to it and I'm like, is that Tarantino talking like as himself, like saying his opinion on this, or is this character supposed to be, insufferable? And it used to bug me, like if I was like, I need to know which is which. And now it's kind of like I can enjoy it both ways. Like I can accept that these, I can accept that these flawed people may even be like, even it's like the creator is allowed to also be a little bit flawed. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Nick, what's your background with this movie?
All right, so this movie, I'm pretty sure I've seen the entire thing all the way through at least once. However, I will say that probably 90% of my history with this movie has been watching the second half of it on live television, which is a thing that used to happen back in the day, but when TV actually existed and you'd catch movies on it, and you didn't get to choose when you started to watch films. Because let me tell you, I don't think I saw anything before the... I barely remember anything that happened before the second part of the boxing got Bruce Willis's story, because... And let me tell you, there's a bunch of scenes on here that I don't think I've ever seen because they got cut from the made-for-TV version.
Yeah.
So I found that kind of interesting. So the oral sex scene, I feel like probably wasn't there. I don't remember the foot massage conversation at all, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, maybe it could just be because it's at the very beginning of the film, and I just saw that the one time. I don't remember the drug thing being quite as long.
So that's wild. That's wild that you said you didn't see the beginning, because you said you describe it as something you saw on live TV. I definitely never watched it on live TV. My experience with it was I'm 22 or 20 or 19, and I'm at a party full of drunk people, and somebody's like, let's watch Pulp Fiction. I was like, yeah, I fucking love Pulp Fiction. Yeah, let's watch it. And then we watch like the first 20 minutes and then go home, or fall asleep or whatever. So I feel like I've seen the first 20 minutes of this a lot. And then, separate. So that's interesting that both of us had the different, only having seen part of it.
Well, I'm quite different from both of you. Like, I sat down to watch it in, end to end at least once, probably twice before this, and then I did my rewatch all 3 times for just the standard version, watched like a movie all in one sitting, like a normal person.
Again, you're saying like a normal person. I actually think that Nick and I's experience with this movie is probably more typical.
Maybe.
I don't know. Something else I did bring up that this movie reminded me a lot of Clerks, especially that the segments with Sam Jackson and John Travolta really felt like Dante and Randall sort of with their conversations, the sort of like long monologues about the stuff, and especially like, he's like, well, you see, a pilot is what they make when they do the first episode of a television show, and it's like yeah, I think I understand.
I think this movie has a much better script than Clerks, in my opinion. I didn't really like Clerks. We know this. I think this is a better script than Clerks. Obviously, like, Sam Jackson's delivery adds a lot as well to why that people like to quote this movie. But throughout, I kept noticing, the script just being, especially their conversations, just being very kind of comedic and fast paced and fun to kind of follow along with.
But I will say, because I was to the point where I was like, is Clerks a parody of Pulp Fiction? So I looked up the release dates. Pulp Fiction was released October 14th, 1994. When do you think Clerks was released? Don't look it up.
I don't know when it was released.
I'll guess a month later.
It was released a week later. On October 19th, 1994. Right. Yeah, so no way that it was directly referencing Pulp Fiction. They must have both been referencing like Slacker or other, independent films. and I did like a little bit of, I did like 15 minutes of research online about this morning, and I could not find, like, first of all, like, everybody, you search for, it's like movies that that influenced Clerks, and it's like movies that are influenced by Clerks, and it's like, no, that's not what I want, because Google doesn't work anymore. And then there's like tons of information about movies that influenced Pulp Fiction. Apparently, every single scene of this entire movie was directly referencing 3 other movies that did the exact same thing. It was like down to like, in this scene where they're in a car, Sam Jackson's character looks to the left, just like in this movie from 1936, where this character was in a car and looked to the left. But it's all like, it's all like specific movie references. It's not, I couldn't find anything that was like, this is where that monologue-y style came from. I kind of wonder if it's just, that's how Gen Xers talked, or that, that sort of thing. And I mean, the most helpful thing was freaking Google AI pointed out that that both Tarantino and Kevin Smith both worked in video stores, and so that sort of influenced their like having an encyclopedic knowledge of movies. And so that sort of comes out. But both of these were 1994 sort of sketch based, meandering independent films. It's just the main characters had slightly different jobs. But one clicked with me like that. I liked it a lot.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, so this one, it's made up of what was it, 3 or 4 kind of skits sections?
Yeah, so
and they worked in order.
There was there's the one, because I forget what they called the one with the beginning, and then there was
the Golden Watch,
the wife, the boss's wife, I think is what it was called. There's the Golden Watch,
and the
Bonnie situation, and like one more. Let me look at my notes. I actually took notes on this because I did. First of all, people definitely do rob restaurants. I don't care what they say in this movie. People 100% rob restaurants. Because I worked at Waffle House. I never personally experienced a robbery, but that was the best way to get cameras installed in your Waffle House, was if you got robbed twice at gunpoint, they would install cameras into your thing.
Huh.
And also the coffee shop I worked at, we didn't get robbed, we got burgled. Somebody figured out the way that we had like a lock on the garage door that we would put in that was easy to take off on day, and you wouldn't necessarily check it if it was a day that you didn't open the garage door, and so people were able to. So there was a guy that we think we knew who it was, a former employee that snuck in after hours, like the Black Friday week or the week before Christmas or something like that, and
stole all the waffles.
Like $3,000. No, this was at the coffee shop.
Oh, okay.
The Waffle House. The Waffle House one of them. Yeah, they actually like pulled a gun to the cook's head. And that was a whole thing. And then another one, they were trying to get into the safe, and they actually did fire a gun at the safe. But
you gotta concede though the point that you think of robbing, gas stations and banks, and you don't think about robbing restaurants.
Right.
Especially little diners like that.
Yeah, and also those experiences, you don't necessarily think about doing it at 9:00 in the morning.
Right. There's just a lot of people, and I mean they see it as a perk, like you get all the wallets, but that's just a lot of people to control.
Speaking of the wallets, was that just like Sam Jackson's regular wallet? I feel like Sam Jackson would just have that wallet.
Yeah, he just had that wallet. I don't think that was scripted. It's just
Well, or maybe he kept it. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what his.
Yeah.
I don't know if his like public persona was the same as it is now before that movie, or if it sort of changed.
according to IMDb, the bad motherfucker wallet belongs to Quentin Tarantino.
Oh, it's his. Okay.
Yeah.
And then he has. I heard somewhere that he has the pussy wagon on his car keys, or he had the pussy wagon on his car keys. That's from Kill Bill.
And the inscription on the wallet is a reference to the theme song of Shaft, which Samuel L. Jackson was in. So
Okay.
I've never seen Shaft, but
Sam
makes
Jackson
sense.
was in the remake of Shaft, like 10
Oh, sorry,
years
you're
later.
right. 2000 and 2019. Yeah, I should have kept reading. Yes, theme song of the Shaft 1971. So yeah, another
I mean,
10
it was,
years.
but yeah. It was, shut your mouth. Yeah, I'm only talking about Shaft. Let's see. Oh, the watch monologue. Oh man,
This uncomfortable hunk of metal.
it's like
Yeah.
I kind of saw what they were where they I really liked that scene because like I kind of saw where he was going with it. Because he's like, and then your great grandfather, he died in this war, and it was this like long meandering story, and then it ends with the punchline of he kept it where they knew they wouldn't find it, his ass.
Uh-huh.
And then dies of a pooping disease. Yes.
He died of dysentery. And then as soon as he finishes telling him about that, he hands him the watch.
You can take the shitty watch from a man who died of dysentery, shove it up your own ass.
Yeah.
That's commitment to a bit.
The most surprising thing about the whole Golden Watch vignette, or whatever it was called, segment, is that like things actually turn out perfectly all right for Bruce Willis's character, right? You like think he's going back after the watch, like Marcellus Wallace's people are going to be there. He's going to die, right? No, it turns out fine for him. I mean, it almost goes really bad, but it turns out fine.
Yeah.
I
just love Marcellus Wallace walking across the street with like this big box of pink donuts. That he's got.
I'm like as surprised by the characters who got a decent ending in this movie as the ones who didn't. You almost kind of expect them all to kind of, die, but only Travolta gets shot.
Right.
Yeah.
And Sam Jackson's character retires, and he, as far as we can tell, he is able to retire because,
he's
and if he
really
hadn't
hard to
retired,
be a
he would have
shepherd.
been in that apartment, and he would have gotten killed.
Yeah.
Or he would have killed Bruce Willis.
He probably just would have killed Bruce Willis because John Travolta shouldn't have left his gun on the sink.
Right. That was kind of a big mistake.
I think John Travolta takes a shit in every single skit that he's in, which is
according to and bad things happen in each one. Well, no, it's only two of them. He only does it twice, or no, he does it 3 times. Because he does it in the you're right. Yeah. Bad things happen whenever he goes to the bathroom.
Yeah, she ODs while he's in there, and the robbery at the end.
And the robbery happens, and he gets shot.
Yeah.
According to the IMDb article thingy, that the John Travolta's death was a reference to 3 Days of the Condor.
Sure. I mean, I guess.
Yeah, this is how that whole article was. Like I said, it was all like, it was like,
you just want a confused man to get gunned down with like awkwardly.
I'm sure somebody
in a cramped space.
Yeah,
I'm
sure maybe somebody was coming out of the bathroom in 3 Days of the Condor, and the weapon used was very similar. But is it a reference?
He does get. There is one of them who does get blasted in the bathroom.
He kind of after during that initial sequence where they murder everybody. Also, you could say that the 3 Days of the Condor thing the Marcellus Wallace guy, because he's out getting breakfast and he's out getting the sandwiches. But
true. So I think the best character in this movie was the wolf.
Which one's the wolf?
The problem solver in who comes to to clean up. Yeah, I just love the kind of like no nonsense, doesn't gives orders, doesn't take them, but also he's just kind of a little bit goofy.
Well, I think something about this movie is there, or that, especially that like section of the movie that like, it's like, this is just a typical day for these, for these hitmen that they, they get up in the morning, they're having their conversation, they're gossiping about their boss's wife, whether a foot massage means anything. He's like, oh yeah, this this big Kahuna burger is pretty good.
Now I did just think of something. They do call Vincent Vega an Elvis man at one point, and Elvis died on the toilet. I don't know if that's a weird reference or not, but
oh yeah,
it's kind of obscure.
Yeah, that would be something. Yeah.
Because I can't think of any other part of the movie when they reference Elvis or why they called him that, but anyway.
Well, he kind of dresses like Elvis.
He does pretty good.
Slick back hair, I guess. Yeah.
He does a pretty good twist too.
Yeah. Well, and he knows.
I can't tell. I don't know if that's a good twist or a bad twist. You can tell me. I mean, it looked pretty bad.
Well, they got the trophy though. They got the trophy, so it was at least the best one that night.
Yeah, no,
the mobster's wife gets a trophy. I don't know if that's earned.
No, I think it was. I think that dance sequence was good. I think that it is sometimes hard to tell if a dance sequence is supposed to be good or a dance sequence is supposed to be bad in a movie, because even when it's supposed to be bad, it's actually good usually, and even when and sometimes when it's supposed to be good, it's actually bad because the people involved can't dance. But Uma Thurman can dance, and obviously John Travolta has a history of being able to dance in movies. I was surprised. I was actually surprised they kind of kept it. What I liked about that sequence is they kept it realistic. Like you could have had them like go crazy, but they were just kind of doing the mashed potato and doing the twist and doing this thing. They were. It was really well choreographed. Really, yeah, and. Yeah, that sequence was like full of like when you see like a montage of like all the movies that ever were made, like that scene that you always see like that, like, Uma Thurman with a cocked head or John Travolta kind of stumbling around their apartment. Yeah. And of course, the Uma Thurman ODing is such a like, I don't know if it's frequently referenced, but it's like sometimes referenced. And that's a segment that I definitely had never seen before. So I probably felt
I knew that it happened, but I felt like the whole bloody and frothy and vomit shit. Yeah. Like I don't think that was quite as. I think they just cut to him picking her up.
She seemed
on the TV version.
She seemed surprisingly all right afterwards. After getting stabbed,
super cool with that. Just a hole in her heart, and
I mean the adrenaline helped at first, but even after he took her home, she just kind of whacked it off.
I don't know much about ODing. I know that like the thing with ODing is that it's like the drugs are doing so much to you that like your body forgets to breathe and stuff, like your function, the functionality that you don't normally have to think about, like you stop doing. So I could see how maybe like if you get hit with,
one of those things you only do if you're already completely screwed.
Right. Yeah, but like I see how if you get the thing, what do you call it? What's the chemical called? Adrenaline. Mm-hmm. How if you could get adrenaline to where you could snap out of it, how you could, rebound pretty quickly. But also, This is a movie where she drinks a $5 milkshake. So lots of stuff is unrealistic.
I don't know if it's worth $5, but it's a good milkshake.
Good milkshake.
I like that. Yeah, $5 milkshake. I mean, look, the corner of Reddit that I'm on is constantly posting pictures of McDonald's menus from 1999 so that they can complain about how expensive McDonald's is now. So I understand that $5 did used to be expensive for a milkshake.
Yeah, I mean, I remember eating at McDonald's for like $4 just getting stuff off the dollar menu. Oops, does that mean I'm old too?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're old. Obviously, we're all
prices
old.
In college, and my wife continually nags me about. You think Cane's is expensive because you haven't like adapted mentally to it. Like you're right. And a chicken burrito at Chipotle is under $7. It's fine.
Well, I don't want to complain about my wife because my wife is awesome, but I do tend to be the one that like goes out into the world and forages for food. And so I do tend to have a better idea for like the prices of groceries and the prices of things. And so like sometimes she will give me a hard time about, spending too much money at the grocery or like if she buys a few meals, she'll complain about the price. It's just like, that's how much stuff costs now.
Yes. I mean, I am also the one that goes out and forages for food. My price up fixed one time and I just don't update it. Right. And I just always am upset about it.
Well, it's not 1999 anymore.
No, it's not.
But although if you use the apps, if you use the McDonald's app, you can still get a breakfast sandwich for $2 every day, which is a freaking steal. But yeah, and it is interesting how I don't know. We could have a whole other podcast talking about how certain restaurants have gone way up in price and certain restaurants not so much. Like I do think that Chipotle has increased quite a bit in price, but it also was like, yeah, it was also under $7 for like a long time when other places were like $12, and now some of those places are still like $12 to $15, and Chipotle is $12, and also just like when people complain about McDonald's prices, I'm sorry, but they're just ordering dumb. They're like, I ordered a double quarter pounder and 2 large Sprites for dinner, and it was $75. And I'm like,
to be honest,
how'd you get
Chipotle
there?
Has gone up. Only like you can still get the basic chicken burrito for like under $9, which is pretty good now. So it's only gone up a couple bucks. Where everything
more evidence that we're old people, but I'm going to reference a Reddit meme that I saw. That's the equivalent of Click and Clack on Car Talk talking about a chain email they received. But my favorite one was a few months ago. Somebody posted like, movie theater prices are out of control, and it was this much for a ticket, this much for popcorn, this much for a drink, this much for 28 hot dogs. Because that is seriously how those always go. It's like you ordered way too much food.
Price at the discount theater with those dollar hot dogs back in the day. That right. Hot dog budget has really ballooned on you.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yes. Oh man, those were the days. Those old dollar hot dogs at the Starplex. I don't have any hot dogs in Pulp Fiction, but a lot of good food scenes in this movie.
That Kahuna burger is so good. You know what they call a quarter pounder in Europe?
See, that's one of the scenes that I just find like insufferable because it's like, yeah, I get it. They call it a Royale with cheese.
I love the part where they just repeat it 5 minutes later because he's like, I'm going to use this new information and dunk on someone else.
But that's so cool.
I do like
it's so real.
Yeah,
I do like that the guy knew that it was because of the metric system.
Look at the brain.
I did like that bit, but it is like, the freaking Simpsons have a scene where like, oh, what do they call a crusty burger with cheese? They call it a quarter pounder. Yeah, it's everybody's done it. But yeah.
Did you guys think that the scene with Butch and his girlfriend was too long? It was like 15 to 20 minutes.
In the hotel room?
Yeah, in the hotel room.
Before he does any, or before he goes out to get the watch again. It was long. It wasn't too bad. I mean, I guess it was fine.
I feel like this is like one of the first times I've ever liked Bruce Willis in a role.
Sure.
Because he's not one of my favorites. And it's probably just because it's like a younger Bruce Willis. I mean, it's only a few years younger than some of the other stuff we watched with him, but it's a slightly younger Bruce Willis. He's only around for a finite amount of time. But I liked
too crazy either.
What I really liked was that they didn't show the fight. I thought that was pretty pretty interesting. Yeah. Like they didn't show any of the build up. They just have the one scene where he's gonna they're telling him to take a dive, and then he's basically like he's got it all figured out, and then he ends up okay. I think that I mean, obviously they weren't making the point that I thought they should be making with the movie, but I would have liked it better if she actually did remember the watch and he was just overreacting and it was like in the bag. But I don't know that you would have been able to. I don't know that you would have been able to tell the story the way that they wanted to tell it. And they did want, I think the point, if the point is, this is the boxer takes the boxer doesn't follow the rules and gets away with it story, and goes against what you expect. Like they're trying to tell the story that you've heard 1,000 times before, but going in a different direction. Unfortunately, the reason that it works in all those other movies the way that we've heard it 1,000 times before is because tropes work, because cliches are cliches because they're compelling. And so, some of the choices that you make, yeah. But I actually didn't notice that scene being crazy long.
I thought it was overall, it was like pretty charming actually for most of it. But I did notice at one point, I'm like, wow, that this scene's been like 15 minutes.
Yeah, I think I was eating at that point, so I didn't really notice that it was long. But
I was like, there's still an hour left in this movie.
Yeah,
and because also like going in, like I did not check the time on it, but I was like, this is okay. I remember Pulp Fiction is this, it's this like sewn together combination of sketches, and it's an indie film, although it's actually not an indie film. It just uses some of that sensibilities and look to it, but I thought it was like this. I thought it was Tarantino's Clerks that he like filmed in his off time, and I don't think that's the case. I think it was a much more traditionally made movie, but so I thought it was going to be like 90 minutes. And it's like, no, it's not 90 minutes. But
budget $8 million estimated.
Right. As opposed to Clerks, which the budget was $27,000.
Uh-huh.
So made literally at the same time. Which also, man, anytime I look up the budget of an independent film, it's like I just saw this movie, Undertone, which is the scariest movie that I've ever seen in my life. Highly recommend to everyone except for Nick. Nick will be too scared of it. Ian probably wouldn't like it because it's silly, but it's also very scary. Anyway, it's like the most like bare bones movie I'd ever seen. Shot really well, done really well, and its micro budget was $500,000. It's like in 2026, and it's like okay, I guess I'm never making a movie. Like it's just, I don't know. It's a miracle that any of these things are made.
Short films. That's what you can do.
Yeah, but like if a short film is
It only
how much
costs
is a
you
short film?
$100,000.
Yeah.
What else did I write down? A couple of things. Oh, so of course, this is one of my pet peeves. You know how every movie has to, like, if they're trying to be scary or anything, they have to like quote the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
So of course, Sam Jackson's like quoting Ezekiel, but it's not really. He's not actually quoting Ezekiel. It's just something that somebody made up for him to say because it sounded cool. That's a pet peeve. Like when you're quoting something and you're not quoting it.
That's
you're
not
just
actually.
No. You're just trying to sound like you're quoting it.
That's awesome.
Well, because it's from 2 other movies. That was one of those things that it literally is taken from 2 other movies.
That
they quote that exact passage.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, somebody made it up.
That's like more interesting to me now.
Huh. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I'm looking up the actual one. It's much shorter.
Yeah.
The actual passage is significantly
I mean,
shorter.
he says it's like one verse, right? Verses aren't that long.
Yeah.
What else? Oh, back to the.
I did like some of the cinematography tricks they use. Like after Vincent Vega shoots up and does all his drugs, and he walks into Marcellus Wallace's gleaming white apartment that is just completely blown out to exaggerate like how much trouble he's having adjusting to it and how off balance he is. I thought that was a really nice touch.
Back to the wolf. That's 30 minutes
Wolf
away.
is great.
I'll be there in 10.
9 minutes and 57 seconds later.
I freaking love that. That's comedic brilliance there.
That's so weird. You blew my mind. That's
the Ezekiel thing. Yeah.
The Ezekiel thing. Yeah.
It's such a classic like Bible verse in a movie scene that like that's actually a little shocking, and I'm surprised I hadn't heard that before.
Can I like? Is it? It's not even taking it because it's I will execute great vengeance on them and punish them in my wrath. They will know that I am the Lord when I take vengeance on them. Is there?
It's similar, but
well, I mean, I think that's close enough to the one part. What the chapter?
But,
it says click for chapter, and
it's the 90s. It's significantly harder to look things up back then.
Yeah.
You have to go and get an actual Bible, which appears that Jules has not done. And also,
behold, I will stretch out my hand against the Philistines, and I will cut off the Cheerites and destroy them. I will execute it. Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
interesting. Yeah, it's like not even.
Yeah, I mean, like great vengeance, and they will know that I am the Lord is from Ezekiel, but the rest of all the rest of that, the path of the righteous men is beset on all sides, but the inequities of the selfish and tyranny of evil, like that's just not there.
That's wild. Yeah, because the thing said it was from another movie, so the other movie must have also misquoted it. You know, that's wild. Oh, okay. I will say, one of my favorite moments in this movie, and this is where like this movie is actually good, is when it's the second time that you hear him say the verse. Which at first I was thinking, oh, he just says this every time. I mean, honestly, maybe, Mr. Philosopher guy, Sam Jackson character, is it Pierce?
Jules.
I don't know where I got Pierce, but maybe Jules also saw the movie that Quentin Tarantino saw that quoted the Ezekiel, and that's why he got it wrong. But the guy's standing in the bathroom with the gun, and at one point he like makes a face. He's like, "What is this guy talking about?" And I'm like, "Yep," because they're all idiots. And I like so honestly, misquoting the Bible plays into that. Yeah, that's I don't know. I like there's just that moment.
And now he wants to go walk the earth.
Now he wants to go walk the earth. Yep.
And be a bum. Yeah.
Well, I mean, he's worked as a hitman for this rich guy. Like he probably has, he walks around with $1,500 cash in his wallet
And does not care at all about giving it away. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, he probably has at least some money. I read a Wolverine comic a little while back that somebody asked him, are you independently wealthy? And he said, well, more like independently middle class. Because he could afford to live without a job, but he wasn't rolling in the dough.
Xavier, yeah.
And I mean, maybe he could take maybe Sam Jackson's character is a, maybe he would have spent all his money in 2 weeks and then ended up back into it, one last job. Every time they think I'm out, they get me right back in and whatnot. They say the N-word a lot in this movie.
Yeah.
I think probably the most N-words of any movie that we've watched on this podcast.
I suspect that is one of those things that also may not have made it into the TV version.
Which, again, kind of that's one of those things that is like, I mean, where it's like, this was a movie. There was one criticism of Blazing Saddles is that it's a film that gives white people the excuse to, white teenagers in the 90s an excuse to say the N-word.
Mm-hmm.
And this is 100% that. And, there's also like a joke about Quentin Tarantino, how he loves to say the N-word. And of course he he is in the film for a little bit. And he says it a few times. And, I mean, it was 1994. So like, I mean, it wasn't acceptable then, but it was like edgy then, as opposed to like you just wouldn't. I think you probably just wouldn't now, but unless you're Quentin Tarantino, you probably would now. But yeah, a lot of that from I think you could have like a white person say the N-word now, but they would be like it would show that they're a reprehensible human being who is not the protagonist or whatever. Like from 3 Billboards a few years ago. The one character did use the N-word some, but yeah, not something that I love. And and people, again, people take the wrong lessons from it.
That movie's almost 10 years old.
I was going to say, I think it was more than
2017.
More than a few years.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. 9 years ago, but yeah, I mean, I should have known that because I rented it from the video store that closed across the street. Whatever. 10 years, even, but yeah, it's not like things have gotten better in the last 10 years. Yeah, I think I covered everything.
My one other little factoid here is that Marvin, the guy who was at the beginning and then later got shot in the face, is played by Phil Lamar, who you may know as a voice actor, who's been in a ton of stuff like Futurama as Hermes Conrad and Samurai Jack as Samurai Jack. I know the name Phil Lamar from all the voice acting credits, but I didn't realize until now, looking at the cast list for Pulp Fiction, that was him, in fact.
So I will say the ending. This is another thing that would have bothered me more if I wasn't kind of taking the film at face value. If I wasn't, if it wasn't a good watch. I did kind of feel like the ending of Sam Jackson saying he's going to retire and he's going to walk the earth and whatnot was a little bit too little, too late. Like, he just really, he doesn't care about all these people getting killed. He's just annoyed by it. Like, he's not, there's not really a scene where he shows weakness or guilt throughout the whole movie. He gets, he doesn't get shot. A guy shoots at him and misses, and he calls it a miracle, but I don't know. It doesn't. It's a little bit of tell, don't show. With his change of heart, literally, because he's talking, but it's very dialogue driven. But I don't know. It didn't. It's the kind of thing where, like, if I had come out, because I think if you watch this movie and you come out of it saying that it makes drug use and violence and murder and sort of, makes it all look cool and and is like, torture porn, it like sort of all of the over the top stuff. Like, if you come out of it saying that I think that's a valid take. I honestly think that's a valid take. I think this movie doesn't do the best job of saying that these are, even if I do think that the point is that these guys are idiots and they get what they deserve and everything. I feel like this is one of those things where if I'd have been like, well, they just, they're just remorseless killers. They're like, oh yeah, but remember at the end, he says he's going to be a good guy now. So that's obviously the point of the point of the entire movie is to, and it's like just a little bit too little, too late. So it didn't totally resonate for me, but yeah. Solid 4 out of 5 for me. And I love that, that it, made stuff happen after it. Tarantino's a director that kind of fascinates me because I thought a lot of his movies were near misses. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I hated when I saw it, and then I kept thinking about it. And it's kind of stuck with me, and I wouldn't mind rewatching it sometime.
Except
I think Kill Bill, I had
5 hours or however long it is.
Yeah. I think Kill Bill, I had kind of the same problem that I had with Pulp Fiction, where a lot of the stuff that it brings up, a lot of the famous scenes and stuff had been quoted to death. The whole thing about Clark Kent, he's the only time that he's, his glasses are his mask or whatever that the bad guy says at the end, which is also wrong, but we don't need to go into that. We can talk about Kill Bill another time, but like Kill Bill was also kind of a near miss for me. And I've wanted to, and the rest of his movies, I don't think I've seen any of them. So I need to sit down and watch the rest of them, but he's like a fascinating director. We live in a time where there aren't a lot of like auteur fascinating directors out there. So that's always interesting. Any other thoughts, you guys?
Not particularly.
I'm good.
Check my notes. No,
all right.
I think I'm good.
So Nick,
I think Nick is up next.
Yeah, are you sticking on the theme here?
I am sticking on the theme, and I'm a little annoyed that the movie has already been mentioned, because the movie that I had picked that I absolutely hated but is well regarded is in fact Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Ooh.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
Two Tarantinos in a row.
We're doing it.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, like I said, I wanted to rewatch it. So
do I have to watch this again?
Yes.
It's so long. It's so long.
We picked another 2 hour and 40-minute Tarantino movie. I'm so sorry.
Is there a director's cut?
The movie that I hated.
Yeah.
All
right.
We'll get through it together. We'll suffer together, and it will be entertaining.
I'm really curious. I'm really curious how this will hit, because it's definitely, like I said, it's one that has stuck with me and I've wanted to rewatch.
Yeah, I've only seen it the one time, and I'm really curious to see if I'm going to enjoy it anymore. Which is to say,
all right,
I would enjoy it.
Well, maybe I should watch Tarantino's other 8 movies before then, and then. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, so we'll see what we think of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood next time on the KendallCast Movie Roundtable. This podcast is a production of the KendallCast Podcast Network. You can support the show for just $2 a month at patreon.com/KendallCast or make a direct donation through the PayPal link at kendallcast.ninja. Every little bit helps.